Bring a Trailer podcast. There's so many good 77 cars.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's lean. I think it's so...
Well, hold on. I want to start the discussion with that.
Your favorite car.
I want to start the discussion with that exact topic. Was it easy or hard for you? All right, so Zach's the winner. Does that mean everyone else is the loser?
Zach's were, I would say, predictably very strong.
Yeah.
But
I have mid-taste, remember?
No,
it was covered in the...
No, but you have great, like, right down the middle,
dreams.
like, the best calls, like, that, but that everyone would make, right? Like, mine were, like, weird and left field.
How many different ways are you going to say mid? Right down the middle.
I don't know millennial.
Your guys' dreams are mid.
Appeal.
My kids say that.
But
I don't know.
I'm also sticking to results on the site, which makes it harder to go crazy and...
Yeah, our dreams are mid. There is an interesting dynamic whereby, like, you could, if you really cared about winning the popularity contest, you do not follow your heart and you totally change your, picks based on what you think the BAT community would find most interesting.
But that's no fun.
I know.
The disagreement and personal tastes and variance is what makes it most fun, right?
Totally. We're having a good discussion here. This should just be the podcast. I think I'm already recording.
Alex and I want homes in coastal California, but a little bit inland because we could never afford the beach.
Monterey versus Pacific Grove. I don't know.
It's fine. It's good enough.
Did you find this hard, Howard? This one?
No, it's good to be back in the lab with you guys. I didn't. I found 95 to be a bit more of a mind bender for me.
Okay. Well, for those of you just joining, we're doing another one of our, well, first of all, welcome back to the Bring a Trailer podcast. And secondly, we are doing another one of our 1 year garage games, this time 1977. And we're discussing whether it was easy or hard to find your picks. What did you think, Zach?
I struggled a little bit with you. We were talking about trucks, where 78 I find to be a more appealing year, a little bit earlier. But then I actually came up with what is my perfect truck. So I'm excited for that one.
Randy, you sticking with all truck lineup?
I thought about going all truck. Commuter, family hauler. What's the sports car? If a Pagoda can be a sports car, then a Scout can be a sports car.
I actually think I have the sports truck.
Ooh.
So we'll see if I found the answer to that.
Well, so which category, though? For truck or for sport?
Well, dual purpose.
Given how fired up we all are for 77, I just like to say I really detest the phrase malaise.
I also detest.
I don't think there's any malaise in our enthusiasm for 77, so we can debate that.
You guys were saying there was going to be no cars to choose from. I think it's like an embarrassment of riches. Like, I'm looking at the page right now, and I'm like, I want many of those. I mean, like 77 Corvette, I can't get with, and I don't know, some bad stuff. I mean,
British and American cars are a little tough.
77 Pontiac Grand Prix. I'm looking at. I
might have picked that. Don't run that down.
Sorry, dude. I can't get there. 630 CSI automatic. I can't get there. But there's some. I think there's some great stuff.
77 good films, good music of that time.
Totally.
Such as?
Do you know what number one of the box office in 77?
I always think that's
Star Wars.
It's a great thing to pull.
Is it not Star Wars?
Oh, Alex dunked that so hard. Didn't even miss a beat. Yeah.
Second most popular film that year. Only knocked out because Star Wars was so solid.
This may come up on our lists.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's probably going to, but Smokey the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit
was actually a huge movie with a huge result, but Star Wars was so other level.
Burt was the man. He was like number one movie star in 77.
So good. I highly recommend.
That's a good little hack. Like you, like any year, like just pick the top 10, like Le Mans starting grid, like top 3 at the box office. That gets the creative juices
flowing.
Putting
on Rumors and their Y82.
I was going to say
on this list.
Was that number one record of the year? I was just watching. Have you seen Daisy Jones and the Six, the TV show that's like based on? It's an Amazon show and it's based on Fleetwood Mac. It's a really good show.
Okay. Well, 77 is Rumors.
Yeah. Okay.
You can think about it, but don't do it.
This predates our birth, all of us. This is before
Nope.
Oh, Randy, are you 77?
Good try. Yep, I'm August 77.
August 77. Okay, mainly 3/4 of the year predates your birth.
Good try. Nice save.
Close. When I looked last time, Randy, maybe you can give me the exact numbers. I think we had 10 cars live on BAT from 1977 and about 1,600 that we've listed. Is that right?
I think we'll take those numbers as fact.
Okay, great. Those are facts. Who wants to go first this time? Zach won. Does that mean he gets to go first?
No. He gets last.
He gets last. All right.
For sure.
Did you get all of that of Randy just describing my taste as very mid in multiple
That's
ways?
why I
No,
wanted.
it's not. It's like perfect. It's like the choices everybody wanted to make. And so because he went first.
See, that's another way of saying it's the choice everybody wants to make.
That's
it's
right.
not mid.
That's why I wanted the preamble
Except
to
for
be
F50. Howard picked F50, which I would argue is the best choice of the entire round.
I agree.
Volvo touring car was very strong.
It was a
Pulled
weird,
out right
that's
at
a
the end.
weirdo call. You never claim that a Volvo choice is going to be the best choice. It's an interesting choice.
For our
but
community,
it's not
that's on.
for our community. I mean, that may be the winner. Yeah, you're right.
All right, well, let's start with Howard then. We'll go reverse around, Zach, and you get to be last.
Make me last.
Does
That's
Zach
fine.
as the winner get to pick the starting category, or you name it, Alex?
Why don't you pick it? You fire it up, Howard. So for anyone who hasn't listened to one of these before, we're going to go around the horn and pick cars from 1977. We have 5 categories. We have sports car. We have family hauler. We have truck 4x4. We have a daily driver, and then we have a wild card. So there will be 20 total picks. I will write them down as you guys are picking, and I'll read them back at the end. So 5 picks each. We're going to go round robin. We'll do the same category each time, and no overlap. That's the big key. So if Howard gets a good one on whatever category he picks, we can't take it.
Great. Given all the opening enthusiasm around trucks, I'm going to start with that category. So we can kick this off right in the sweet spot for 77. And a lot of good options as we go around the horn here. But for me, it's got to be a 77 Cherokee Chief.
Ooh.
Strong.
And
yes.
I love a clean early Wagoneer, but the Cherokee Chief is just a handsome truck. And so many of the interiors from that era were so awful. And the interior in the Chief is like really clean, sharp, like aging well. My pick would be what they call a tawny orange, kind of a burnt orange. Love the painted steel wheels on those, and finding a nice one is tough, but that was a no-brainer for me.
Wow, that's really good. What do you think about that pick, Randy?
I saw the actual vehicle he's talking about, and it was in consideration. That's a fantastic family hauler / truck / sport vehicle.
There are good colors in 77. That is one thing 77 no one can argue about.
The graphics of the 70s.
Yes, totally.
Shout out our partnership's main man HUD owns a 77 Cherokee Chief, so just want to make that point if he's listening.
True, that's on staff. There's a staff chief.
Chief staff. All right, great opening pick, and we're going to stick with trucks. Randy, what do you got?
I'm very predictable on this one. Have to lot number. I'm going straight to a VIN number. 121508. 1600 Veloce sold a 77 Land Cruiser, red, white, freeborn red and white. My first 2 cars were FJ40s. And man, 77 is tough because there's Scouts, there's Jeeps, there's last year the early Bronco. Like there's more than 4 winners for all of us. Like they all win, but I'm FJ40. It's like if I picked one of the other ones and one of you guys picked FJ40s, I'd like have a visceral jealousy reaction. So I'm taking it.
You got to lock it
taking it off the table.
What's the end? Is FJ55 is also? Can you get a 55 in 77?
You could. That's the station wagon model. But yeah. Anyway, I'm 2-door removable top, short wheelbase FJ40. 77 is a great year for people that are
discs
into
right
those.
there, right?
Front disc came in 76. 77 still has the round bezel before it went to square bezel a couple years later, and it's a sweet spot for those.
When is power steering on those? Is that later?
Optional power steering was meaningfully later. Yeah. But 77 is one of my favorites. My high school one was a 75, but 77 is a good one. So that's me.
That's a very good pick. My turn. I'm going to go basic like I did last time on trucks. It's going to slowly, you guys already know this, but everyone else will realize that I'm not really a truck person, but I always go for the simple ones. I'm going to go F250 in 77, which is a really good body style, 2-tone, orange and white.
Was it this exact truck?
Yes, that's that exact truck.
That was my plan.
I found a blue one. And was going to go lot number on it. So anyway, I love that you're picking that.
That's a really good one. What's the lot number on that, Zach?
110411.
Okay. I actually think I would probably go crew. It's great. I think I would probably go crew cab. How do you feel about crews on those?
Love.
Yeah,
super cab.
Yes,
called
totally.
a super cab on those, and then you can go for 4-door as well. So
I almost thought about family hauler. There's too many good family haulers, and I didn't want to do that. But you could totally carry the family around in that. Zach, sorry, I stole from you.
No, that's not. That was my plan C. I think I had FJ40 as plan B, knowing Randy would go for it, but put it on there just in case.
All right.
Zach's not allowed to go first in any category.
But I told you,
let's just make sure.
I think this is a controversial pick for truck, and I'm claiming it as the sport truck of that era. Mazda rotary pickup.
Wow, okay.
Oh,
You love a 13B, or do they come in 12s, or what?
I think they're 12As, aren't they?
No, it's a 13B with a 5-speed and an 8,000 RPM tachometer for your truck in 1977. How strong is that?
That's pretty strong.
Honestly,
did they stifle those with a catalytic on them, or what was going on in 77 on a rotary? I have no idea.
That's probably nothing good. There's no way the payload capacity you can do anything remotely practical.
What's displacement on a 12A or a 13B?
1.3 liter, I think.
There you go. I love that.
On the two, that's both rotors combined, I think.
Yeah, I'm eyeing lot number 42253. Give me that little red Mazda truck.
That's a really, really good one. They have alloys on them too, don't they? Or are they steelies? They are kind of sporty.
That I don't know, but I mean, a 5-speed in a truck, then that's
with some revs.
That's the height of truck performance in the late 70s.
Those are super cool. I think they say Rotary on the back or something like that. They're really, really cool.
They do the round taillights. I have a theory of when people ask me, like, what kind of car should I buy from like an investment perspective? Round taillights and factory fender flares. That's where you want your cash.
Totally. That's great advice. Speaking of graphics, I almost went with a Scout. I'm surprised nobody picked
Scout, which was definitely in the mix.
Yeah, very good graphics on Scouts and colors. Speaking of that.
But my Canadian buddies say Scout. Nice little Scout.
Nice little Scout. All right, Howard, what category you want to do next? You're up.
I think we can dive right into what sports car is one.
Sports car is one.
This is
interesting. This is going to be tough for me.
This is going to be interesting.
This is where I think the heat lies.
I've got one, but I've got a backup just in case I need it.
I think I have 3 backups.
Yeah, I had it down to 4. It's whether you want to go Ferrari or not Ferrari. Then you can then the tree kind of opens up.
Great news for me. It's great news for me.
I disagree. Yeah,
Randy.
You know, I'd probably have to say 512 BB.
Oh, it's a sophisticated choice.
If I really had my brother, the 365 GT4 BB, the predecessor is the top, but 512s, I've always loved them. They seem to be good value, although that's what everyone always says, and they never go up in value. But
that's like, is that the most oft-made comment on BAT? Undervalued.
Yep. These are undervalued. Buy them now.
Yeah.
Buy them now. Undervalued. And
is our top result that green one that 1600 Veloce had? That car is so
That's
good.
what I pulled up, lot number 82671.
He had his lot number ready.
Zach is
that
like
color
killing
is so
it
good on that car.
with the lot.
Zach's
numbers.
feeling like me last round, where it's like, yep, that was the one I was going to pick.
He's looking pretty comfy over there.
I think it's 3rd on my knowing I was going to go last this time.
There's enough to go around.
This is a strong category. All right, Randy, what do you got?
I am going Stratos.
Wow.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's a great car.
It is.
Sick. I'm embarrassed. I didn't even think of that. That's
made until 78. Yeah, they had a 4-year run, I think. They stopped being World Rally Champion in 76, but they were still made on until 78. We've listed a street version. We've listed a couple of odd kit versions, a few different things. Did we ever list another one after the original red one we did? Did we list a blue one? I forget. But we've listed at least one of those on BT auctions, and count me in. I don't know if I'd fit in it. That's the only challenge. 6 feet tall. Maybe not.
Red one in 17 is the only one we've had.
Red
set of wheels too.
2017. So anyway, fantastic car.
Do you have an ideal color in that? Do you want all Italia livery?
No. I like the street spec on those. I mean, the one we sold was red, which is obviously good looking, but they look great in everything. They look good in. I think I've seen a black one, which is crazy. The blue one that was at Overcrest, which wasn't a real one, but looked good in blue. That was in southeast Utah where we saw it. That was a good time. Anyway, I love those cars. I think that's a pretty solid sports car. That qualifies as a sports car, no?
100%.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That Stratos listing has 140,000 views, which is, I mean, it was
and
7
climbing,
years ago.
And climbing. Just clicked another one.
That was Driver Source, yes? That car, I think.
Yeah.
We saw it at the Quail right after it sold many years ago.
With an alumni
with
frame.
With a BAT alumni frame, which was very strong. And then I think, were you guys with, we saw it at the Peterson one time. It came to an event.
That's correct.
It did.
Yeah.
The owner was driving it around.
That's
the
right.
suspense is killing me, Alex. I need to find out my number one pick.
I got to follow my heart. I have a lot of strong candidates here, but I am going to go 308 GTB, as probably no one will be surprised. I specifically remembered this one as I was searching them, which was a fantastic listing. I mean, look at that. You
should have bought that car.
Has to be GTB, has to be a hardtop for me.
In blue. Yeah, that's so strong. What's the lot number on that?
That is lot number 36658.
If you can only pick one, do you go hardtop or do you go Euro bumpers on those? Can you tolerate a GTB with US bumpers?
I actually have pretty strong issues with the GTS. I need fixed roof.
What are your issues?
Okay.
I just like it's the same thing with Carmen Gia's too.
It's a good TV show.
I'm a roofline person, and so rooflines get. I have the same problem with the Dino. Like once you do a GTS,
I'm right there with you on Dino's GTS versus Coupe, but on 308s, I don't see the roofline as that much different.
And when you're in it, it's probably fine. And like I agree, it's less offensive on it because the Dino has a beautiful curved roof. It's less offensive on a 308, but like that, I actually think this is as pretty as a Dino. I know a lot of people don't agree, but I think that's gorgeous looking.
I love it.
It's a replacement for the Dino. All right, that was basic. I had some good. Well, Zach, you go, and then I have a few honorable mentions.
Another one. I'm kind of sad. I didn't pick.
I can't believe this made it through, guys. But
that was on my short list.
That also ran for years and years and years. Yeah. But is Periscopio?
Is
Periscopio a 77?
Yeah, that car is a
77.
Yes. Is that Rod Stewart's car you're looking at right now?
This is Rod Stewart's car.
That's a 77.
Yeah. Zach, I do peg for 308 GT4, given your growing love for those.
I think that could actually be
Thank you for not picking that. And also thank you for picking what you picked, which is very solid.
Yeah, I think that's the move. I don't think there's
I thought those were later for some reason. When did they come out? 75?
75.
Yeah. I was thinking they were.
That was on my short list.
I'm picking that for 75.
Alex, another honorable mention, which is another value trap, much like the 512, is a Bora for 77.
Value trap.
Not only did I have Bora on my short list, I had the Kamsen on my short list too. I saw that because
it came up on a BAT search for 77.
There's some good Maseratis. I can't blow up the spot yet because we haven't done Family Hauler, but we hadn't had one that was 77. The other great honorable mention, which doesn't look great tiled up to next to these. Tip of your tongue, Randy?
I don't know. Are you going in Espada direction?
Oh, that was the Family Hauler. Espada.
Sorry,
there's no way that's a sports car.
Yeah.
But Esprit S1,
Esprit S1. I saw a lot of those on BAT. I saw a number of those on BAT.
That was going to be my next thing. This specific car. Do you remember this one with the Christmas tree interior? This was an early wob car.
Oh my gosh. Terrible.
Look at that.
That's madness.
I think about this car all the time. This is lot 11701. Yeah. Lots of riches there. Some of these could be wild cards too. So I have a few more that I'm going to keep hidden from this category. All right, Howard, where are we going next? Those were excellent picks all around.
What do I have left? Family Hauler, Daily.
I picked the weakest one. We've got Periscopio, Stratos, and what 512 BB. Those are like really strong cars.
Yours is strong too, though. Oh, well, maybe it's going to come up in a later one. I keep wanting to propose.
I know.
The arms race has escalated.
Yeah.
We all know we're going to pick
We're going into Ferraris and Lambos
for
now.
Sure.
We started with Fords and Fiats, and now here we go.
Yep.
So, okay, cool.
Sorry, Howard. You pick next. Next category.
What's left? Family Hauler?
Family Hauler, Daily Driver. I usually like to save wild cards for the end, but if there's something you think somebody's going to steal, I guess you could jump in with a wild card.
I'll go Daily. This is not too much of a wild card, but I would pick a really nicely spec'd out 77 Alfetta. Which is kind of a unloved. And we sold a sick one for 80 grand. I won't even mention the reserve.
How much money?
80. A green 80
one.
Grand? Nice. You can look it up.
This.
80.
These are still.
Am I thinking like Cameron Fry's car? Is that what we're talking about?
The one we sold for 80 was an Alfetta GT, though, I believe.
Oh, you're talking about the coupe. Okay. I was like, sorry. Excuse me.
But this is still four-cylinder.
You were thinking of the frumpy four-door sedan.
Heart attack when you were like picking the sedan. I was like, okay.
Polski Fiat 77.
It is. That's Cameron Fry's car.
Cameron Fry.
$7,000. We sold it for $7,000.
Still twin cam 4-cylinder and transmission in the back, right? Isn't that right on an Alfetta?
Transaxle?
I think so.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Take the bumpers off, put some cool wheels on it, drop it a little bit.
Awesome.
You're always the only guy in the parking lot with one. Anyways, sorry for the whiplash there.
It's okay. Everything's good.
Are both the coupe and the sedan both called an Alfetta?
Yes.
Alfetta GT is the coupe.
Okay.
Yeah, or GT or GTV. Yeah. Cool.
Which then becomes the GTV6.
Right, GTV6, right. But this is when it's still a 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's a cool car.
It is. I like those. We haven't listed a ton of those, have we?
They're all in junkyards or deceased.
It's cool when you see the hood open shot on those and you just see the iconic Alfa twin cam valve covers.
It's probably the same engine that was in the late GTV, right? Just in a newer body. Cool. Good pick. I like that. Cameron Fry laying on the throttle in the driveway.
All of it.
All right, Randall.
You guys are going to say this is absurd. I'm going for some absurd choices because I need to raise my stock amongst the voters who are picking winners.
You need to pander.
This is a terrible daily, and yet the best daily, which is, and they only came in 4 speeds at the time. 77 930 turbo daily car, turbo lag, terrible reliability.
You took mine.
Sorry,
from
dude.
one
Hey,
pick
guys.
before.
Sorry.
Oh, look, there they are.
What
I
category?
like Randy's
I thought
green
people were
more.
going for sports, though. You
I
went
wanted to
for-
save it for daily because I think it's a
great
good.
daily
Yes,
driver.
I think it's
okay.
great.
Wow. I'm
all
very,
chose. Was that on your list too?
I'm
Zach?
very
Hold up right now.
mainstream.
What lot number was yours, Randy?
Mine. I did pick it based on the best green, in my opinion.
No, you're wrong. Alex and I have the best green.
We have
which
the
is why I'm
wob
making
one.
you read
That's
it.
Nah, I got to go with the lighter green. A
One-
real 930, if you will.
124.
I learned that lesson from you, Howard.
Emerald green metallic. Ooh, this has like puke green interior.
But
Did
it's
you
sport,
see that?
Is it sport seats?
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I don't
green
want-
car
I
that
actually-
Alex and I are looking at.
I'm actually gonna swap out the interior. I can't handle that on the
Sportos.
metallic green.
Yes, it's so good.
But this one, RNM car, unfortunate outcome for this guy. But rest of world car, that's how you get that green.
Well,
I
it's
guess.
clear that people voted with their dollar on the better color. And agree with Alex
You're
and
getting
I
all
the
heated on
green.
like different 930s, but like nobody else gets to pick 930, so discussion's sort of over.
Yes, correct.
It's a good mic drop commuter car. I think it's perfect.
That's pretty
I
strong.
love the non-intercooled.
I think pulling up to the office and parking outside on the street in a scruffy 930
Yes.
turbo is
Especially a Turbo Carrera,
pretty
non-intercooled,
pretty strong.
100%. I would ask this: is that I personally would say that's the best car from 1977.
Overall car.
The number one car for 77 in terms of
Wow.
put people in the back, drive it every day, take it on road trips, go fast in it, back road, take it on the track. It's like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Our guy Reggie Jackson was winning the World Series in '77 and hopping in his 930 Turbo Carrera.
Good for Reggie.
If you're out there,
Well
Good
done,
for
Reggie.
Well done. Okay, well that stole my thunder. It's a good thing I have a
we
backup.
all knew Turbo Carrera was
So
going to
here, Zach, I reference this. This is a car that we've only sold one of from 1977, and that is an original body style Scirocco. That would be my daily.
Ooh, nice.
I probably wouldn't do Ronals on it and everything like this one, but I do like the color. But I've always loved these. Giugiaro, I think, is the designer. They're really pretty. I've always liked them. I've driven lots of second generation Sciroccos, but never a first. And I've just always liked them.
But I've never driven. I sat in it at an alumni gathering, one of the early alumni gatherings. Somebody brought one.
Really?
And in Phoenix, we did it in Scottsdale during auction week. You remember this?
This was
19.
This was a
before
million years
early
ago.
19.
It was right before you went on
I think
the
we had some
Copper
of the
State, wasn't
merch
it?
downstairs, like mugs downstairs or something from it. But yeah, it's 2018, 2019, and a guy brought a Scirocco from some distance, and I was like, oh, I've never been around one, so I sat in it, but I didn't drive it.
I think that would work really well as a day. It's just a little golf right underneath,
It
basically.
looked great in the staff lot next to Howard's Alfetta.
That would
Actually,
be
they're
good.
kind of a pair.
They're,
They
they're
are.
smaller than an Alfetta, though, right? Is it lower and smaller? It
They're-
strikes me as such.
definitely.
They're little, and you never see a nice one. They're always crappy.
So bad. They always have those wheels on them that came stock on the US ones
Yes.
that are like sort of bottle cappy looking, like terrible. Those
They look
are
really good with
so bad.
snowflakes on them.
They look good with other wheels.
Yes.
Any other wheels. Yep.
Okay, Zach Daly.
I know this is tough. You and Howard had great picks, but in the spirit of the arms race against Randy,
Oh, it's become a 2-horse race. Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to daily drive a 77 Aston Martin V8
Oh,
with
another
5
value
speed.
trap.
Going nowhere but up. Those are going nowhere but up. Wow. Okay. 77. Where does that fall in the arc of Aston Martin, Volante, Vantage, all these cars they had at those point that kind of
Good.
similar?
They got bad
Yeah,
in the 80s. It's a good
Yeah.
year for it.
I think so. And I think that era in particular looks good without all of the ticky-tacky stuff. It's a
Mhm.
little, I guess now that we're through Daily Driver, we can bring it up. It's a little 78 Mustang 2.
There's
Cobra
Mustang 2. Yeah, there's some
vibes for sure.
shared
But
DNA.
I think it would cruise well. You'd feel cool rolling that thing
definite
everywhere.
muscle car vibes. I looked at that exact listing also. We have a lot of crossover, and I think that's a really strong pick. I've always liked those. They're tough looking.
It's the car that you buy, but every time you pull up next to Randy's 930, you actually wish you bought the 930.
Totally. When your Aston's in the shop and the 930's starting every morning.
or the 930 explodes its engine.
Totally.
But still, you could get them down the road.
What is it Living Daylights? That was a Bond car in one of them. And I can't, it's a Dalton
later Bond.
It's a Dalton
car.
Bond. Good pick, Zach. Okay, Howard, we're down to family hauler, something I know you think about all the time. So what do you got on tap?
Yeah, this is a bit of a odd one for me. Never thought I'd say this, but we've listed so many of them. I've kind of found myself thinking about them a little bit. I don't know if it's a family hauler, but it's big enough, which is a 77 Lincoln Mark V.
Oh my goodness.
Also my favorite boat for 77.
Alex just gasped.
You guys are picking everything. I love those.
Yeah, a little Bill Blass edition. Let's go.
Yes. There's a Givenchy edition too. There's like a couple weirdo ones. That's great.
Cartier edition. Yes, there are. So anyways, those big barges are starting to speak to me a little bit.
I think they look really good. We listed one that was like bright gold. There's good colors on those too.
Anything else to know drives like a dream. That's the number one car for that.
I imagine them chock full of cig smoke, windows up, just choking on the cigs.
What's the HP output on one of those?
110,
low,
115.
What's the displacement? 7 liter.
They're 460s, I think.
Oh my gosh, 7 liter, 100 horse.
Damn, that's a good pick.
The Eldorado in there, that's the contender for worst ratio of displacement to output, right?
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'd love that you had that on your screen and he called it.
I have the whole Lincoln 77, like all of them up. This is the one that I liked.
Oh, God bless you, Alex.
I know. They're great. They're really cool looking. A little bit like latter day letter series cars, right? Like they're trying to make this big Luxo barge, but it was dark.
You were at the end of the alphabet if that's a letter car, man.
No,
I just the edge of the cliff.
Same ethos, but it's a terrible era for it. No HPs.
Little late. Yeah. Letter cars are about HPs for me.
Yep. Great pick. Randy, family. I bet you're going to steal my backup.
Euro only 6.9 Benz, which is a must.
Oh,
that's a good one.
The order of selection, the draft order today is very critical to your outcome.
Both mine are gone. I have to scramble. I don't have a third backup.
6.9 Euro only. Euro lighting, optional French lighting, which has yellow fogs on the outside of the headlights, which is an unusual strong.
I thought you were anti-yellow lights.
I usually am, but the fact that they're clear and yellow on one lens, I mean, it must cost like a fortune to get those headlights. But if you shop on European classified sites or French classified sites, you find all the French models, 6.9 Benz sedans, and they are pretty special. And if you can get headlight wipers, also cool. Also bonus points for cloth interior. There you go. That's my pick.
We've listed 15 of those 77 6.9s.
Just 77, I know.
Correct.
And they may have been 78, and they made a couple other years too. So it's we've listed a bunch.
I'm like totally scrambling right now. I literally don't have a backup. You guys took both of mine. I don't even know if you Zach, do you have one that you can go?
I have a backup I can spare for you, Alex.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I actually do kind of have one.
Okay, great. I didn't expect anyone to pick one of these, but it's, come on, 77, the year, the era. I have the Chevy G20 conversion van for me and my fam with matching shag carpet on the roof and the floor.
Cheech and Chong.
Oh, those are actually my children's names.
Yeah.
What's the model called? Is it a B200?
It's a G20. We had a Dodge Tradesman, which has a better exterior aesthetic.
Yes.
We on the site. I think you meant like your family. I was like, really? You had a Dodge Tradesman?
Come on. I'd be a different guy today if I grew up in the back of one of these things.
That is cool. That's a cool graphics package.
The Tradesman didn't have the interior to match, like the G20 lot number 95734. I wish they improved their presentation a bit, but ultimately it did matter with that 19 grand high bid.
I think that's a really good pick. I strongly, because the van game was strong in 77. We have a couple like porthole window shaggin' wagons that we've listed from 77. I think most of them were Dodges, to your point, but strong, very good.
Thanks.
I remember as a kid being in the back of some of those pre-seatbelt laws and everything, and just hang out. There were no just carpet all in the back.
Families had them, and then some got handed down, like to kids that were like bummed out that like their family handed down the conversion van to drive to high school.
That was your worst nightmare.
Like you were like super outcast, but
thankfully those kids didn't have to drive very long because they all got their GED. Right?
I don't know where they ended up. They just kind of drove off into the distance in their conversion van.
Great pick, Zach. Okay, I scrambled. I found something. I wanted a 6.9 so bad. That was my first selection overall.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You got a good one. I did scroll past this car, though, so I came back to it. I did have a secret backup.
Don't take this the wrong way, but sounds like you may get first choice next week.
Yes, I think that's right. I think that's
You hear
correct.
that, Alex? Randy's calling you a loser.
That's right. I think that's
In
fair
this
enough.
competition.
I think that's fair
Because
enough.
we stole a lot of stuff from you.
But see, order matters. So this is E12, early E12. There's still only 4 speeds, which is a little bit of a bummer. But 6-cylinder, they're beautiful cars. They're all rusty. Another car, you never see a nice one.
Search E12 though. We've listed a couple nice ones, right? You
A lot
put
of the
Alpina wheels on them.
Yeah.
Or there's a alleged Alpina version
Yes.
that we had.
A lot of the ones that I dig are kind of like latter day swaps. They have like big motors in them and stuff. And so I actually, for like a family hauler, daily driver, just a stocky 6-cylinder, 4-speed, drive the family around as it came in 77. I think it'll be a delightful car.
Well, this is what I was hoping you'd find, Alex. This Citroen CX 2400 5-speed.
interesting.
That would also be a great family hauler in 77.
I've driven one of those.
No way.
Yeah.
When?
Derek Tam Scott actually had one of those. He brought it to Monterey and he let me drive it.
Hilarious. What was it like?
Awesome. Like absurd. And
Do they
awesome.
still have the weird round
Yes.
stress ball brake pedal?
Well, the brake pedal, but the gauges are super bizarre and like things are turning in multiple axes and it's crazy.
And the
that's a
one-spoke
crazy
wheel?
car. 1-spoke wheel. Yep.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I love them.
They're not my favorite looking Citroen, but it's a super cool car. There was one of those that went on the Snowball Rally many years ago. Do you remember that?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's true.
And he would do the trick, lift it up and down. Great picks, everybody. All right, we're on to wild card, Howard. What do you got for us? You said you have a spicy one?
Oh boy, and I have a few for these, few backups. I think Randy probably called it for me, but it's from my BAT auction wish list, which is a Fiat 131 Abarth Rally Stradale,
That was the car.
which is very cool. It's the homologation car for the WRC race cars. Bertoni, the Carrozzeria Bertoni, Alex picked 2-door body shells off the assembly line and put some go-fast parts on them. Abarth built the motor. Interestingly, those were non-synchro gearboxes.
Whoa.
They took the synchro rings out because for homologation, you couldn't have synchronized gearboxes. Fun little fact.
Wow.
Why
they're so
is
sweet.
that? That's crazy.
That
You
was
can't have a synchro to race?
In the 77 rule book, that was the deal for World Constructors Championship.
Ridiculous. I love that you know that.
Randy mentioned the Stratos. Everyone knows the Stratos and the Lancia 037. The third sibling in that family is the 131, which won the championships in 77, 78, and 80 in that period there. So anyways, that's
Very sick.
That's my deal.
Very sick. Michelle Mouton drove those. Is that right?
She did.
Yeah.
She sure did.
Man, these are cool. Great pick. Really, really good. Is that the car you would actually want the most out of all of these, do you think?
After we go around the horn, I'll give some of my honorable mentions,
okay.
which probably I'd rather have more.
Okay, interesting. All right. Randy, wild card.
Wild card for me. Okay, so this one I'm stretching the limits a little bit because BMW M1s came out in 78.
No, you can't pick M1.
But the first
It was on the stand in
M1
77.
was on BAT, and I featured it as serial number 1.
Ugh,
Was in 77.
you're killing me.
Man.
And so there was one BMW M1 made in 77.
Look, it looks different. It's got like
And
a
it has
scoop on the front.
Well, look, the front, the bumper setup is interesting. And then interestingly, the listing showed it was later Pro Car converted. So it
Nice.
looks like a normal one then.
Oh, but
now.
you'd want to take it back to that.
Take it back to the one of one prototype look would be interesting. This was written on BAT in 2015. December 21st, 2015, we were writing stories about M1s found on eBay in Bad Aibling, Germany.
Wow.
And
I'm crushed. I wanted one on my list so bad.
that's the car. That's the car for wild card for me.
Jesus,
Great
Randy.
I wonder where it is now. Somebody write in and tell us where this car is now, because probably somebody restored it or bought it, I hope. Factory probably bought
Your
it.
list is really good, Brandy.
Oh, I'm trying.
He's
trying to up it after my shoot from the hip last time and just like failure total.
You buried us all.
Almost.
Stop, dude. Stop beating us.
Threw
We're all
myself
dead.
out that window. I was like, oh, I got to do better. I'm letting people down.
Randy found a way to sneak the M1 into 77, what Zach couldn't do this afternoon. So kudos.
Zach is not happy.
I'm crushed. No, I'm loving this.
Okay, for me, I know Randy's going to like this one. This was probably my favorite car I found while searching around in 77 on our site. This is Cale Yarborough's Oldsmobile
Okay.
Cutlass NASCAR.
Okay.
Very, very strong. Super cool history on this car. Not only does it look freaking badass, and it's still from the era right at the tail end, I think, of when NASCARs were still real cars, were not silhouette cars, basically. This is a road course car. Went to Amelia Island. It was at a bunch of cool places, but it also was a championship car for Old Kale. So super cool car.
So I looked at that too, and then I keep getting stuck in the thought process of, is that
thing? Come on.
Is that his car in 77? Or if you take that pick, is it now Alex Porter in the title racing that in 77? If you pick a historic race car, does that...
You were there at the time, is what you're saying.
Smoking cigs while you're driving.
On the grid, waiting on the grid.
Absolutely.
Cigarette lighter is wired. Is the one accessory that's wired into the interior of the car.
Who's that, Dick Trickle?
Dick Trickle had a hole in his helmet, I think, so he could rip cigarettes while he was driving.
So good. I also really wanted like a big American car, like the Lincoln Continental Mark V, and here's your NASCAR version of it. So anyway, I was fired up about that.
That's a good one.
It's also harmonious with your stable picks.
Totally.
I'm torn on this. I think I have the most mid to a T 77 car that I thought would get picked by now, but now I just feel like I have to say it. 77 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Y82 with the 4-speed.
It's really good. It is. Man.
But do you feel like a tool rolling that around in 77? Because everybody's like, you're not Burt Reynolds.
They sold a ton of them. They sold a ton of them as a result of the movie. So I don't think so at all. I think it's awesome.
I can't tell. It's like guys now that buy a late model Aston Martin to feel like James Bond. You just like roll your eyes at them.
Yeah. Or Too Fast, Too Furious. Show up
my
in
orange Supra with the ninja graphic on the side.
Totally.
Do you have a specific one queued up, Zach, that you were thinking of? We've sold a couple actual semi-related.
Yeah, unfortunately, this one missed, but I'm looking at lot number 56927.
Let me see that bad boy. Is it one of the ones that was associated with Burt? Oh, okay.
I think the Burt ones were 78s actually.
Man,
that
they're
we listed.
so good.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, come on, T-tops, that, and 77.
What's Y82? Is that a handling package?
Y82 is the T-tops, 4-speed also, I believe, and the graphics package.
Alex, I think the production team stopped putting Y82 in the title of those.
I don't know. We need to have a chat with them. Whoever's in charge of that team is
Anybody
not
have
doing their job.
Y82 in their username? If they do, I want to know who that is.
You want to make contact with that person?
Totally. I'm keep my children away from that person. I got to see who's got it. There's a lot of them.
Man. Well, there we are. How do you guys feel about your pick? Zach and Randy, you guys were really going at it there. That was a competition.
Randy totally won that one.
That was down goes Frazier, down goes Ali, back and forth
with the Smokey and the Bandit car.
You got the Periscopio.
I know.
That's a super duper strong.
I thought that would go.
You did show us a red one, but still super strong.
It's surprised no one came out with the 934, 935. Those would have been at the top of someone's list.
Very good.
And then on the more esoteric side, 77 was the last year of the Tipo 33 Alfa. The really great ones were early 70s. And the last ones were kind of more generic sports racer. But the 76, 77, some of them were still pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zach, I'm surprised you didn't go for a C110 Skyline. I thought that might come up.
Ken Mary?
I originally had that as my commuter.
Oh, man.
You just can't ever get the wheels quite right on those. There's like too much rear fender on those, too much quarter panel height. But yeah,
there's a lot of air around the front wheel on those, right? Because or else you got to rake it.
They're tough to dial. Yeah, and then the rakes don't look quite right, but they are cool.
I've seen a couple cool ones before. Yeah. I think those you could save somehow.
Other deep pull that nobody got, and we haven't listed one to be fair, but I think 77's the last year of the A110 Alpine.
Wow.
Oh, they were still making them that late, huh?
That's super late. That's cool, though.
77 is interesting because you get a lot of the impact bumper. I came across a lot of MGBs with big snouts when I was doing this.
Yeah. Commuter.
Total commuter. Family hauler. The only other weirdo, I was a little worried Randy might steal the Cale Yarborough NASCAR. So my backup is a super weird one, but I love them, which are the GMC Motorhomes.
Yes.
Yes.
With front wheel drive. Yep. Yes. And they come in a short wheelbase and a long wheelbase, the low floor RVs. I really like. I almost asked you guys if that could count for truck 4x4, but it can't. It's front wheel drive. But I really like those things. We've listed a lot of really cool ones. And in 77, they came in funky, greens and yellows.
Speaking
and weird
of low
stuff.
HP. Those things.
That's another.
Drive one of those up the Grapevine. You want to do that?
I don't know if it could.
It's like 30 miles
Certainly
an hour.
not if you were towing your Yarborough NASCAR on an open trailer behind you. I think there are 455 olds, but probably like 150 horsepower or something.
Man.
Yeah. Any other honorable mentions, Zach?
This probably doesn't even count, but I'll say it anyway. 77 is the Esprit S1 submarine car from James Bond.
That's true, the white one. Yeah, that's a good wild card pull.
Could have been, but it also doesn't really exist. So
It sold at auction. It sold at auction for $1 gazillion, and it probably was not the same one, but maybe it was. But it had like the fins.
Did it have a disclaimer? Do not put in the water.
Yeah, if I can't take it underwater, I mean,
that was maybe not real, but the one at auction sold at RM London or something, right? Didn't they do that when they were doing the real Bond cars and different stuff? That one went through for I don't know how much, bunch of dough.
That's the Lazenby Bond. I think that's the one.
No, Roger Moore. Come on,
it's Roger Moore
in the white.
Okay,
car.
Interesting. All right.
That was a great time for F1. If you want to race cars, I love whatever. I think Niki Lauda won 77 in the Ferrari 312T, which is like I like that era of
it's big scoops, right? Big tall scoops on them.
Mm-hmm. That'd be up there for me.
That's really good. Anything else that crossed your screen?
I mean, I just want every truck made in 77. Like CJ7's on the list.
Yes.
The Jeep Honcho pickup was on the list. The Bronco, final year of the original Bronco. You know how to call out a 77 only Bronco right before they changed the body style over any others? The fuel filters, the double fuel fillers have doors over them. Every other one up until 76 are exposed, and they put doors on it, and then they canceled the model.
Amazing.
What a waste of engineering dollars.
Nice. Love that.
But anyway, that's 77 only on those. And that's how you recognize that. And some people think 77, the last one, is the most desirable and valuable because it came with all sorts. You can get most options on the last ones. And then they probably sat on the showroom floor and they couldn't sell them, right? And then they introduced the new big one.
Mm-hmm. Howard, any other motorsport stuff that you were thinking about? It's cool that you were mentioning earlier. Go check out the Formula One grid. See who won Le Mans. Who won Le Mans? 77. It's 935.
I think we actually sold the 77 class-winning 934 as part of Wobb's race car collection sale. I believe that was 77.
And 935 was overall winner.
No, they had those crazy. I think they call them 936s.
Oh,
you can look those up.
Jackie X, I think, drove those.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, kind of a forgotten prototype Porsche, but those are cool.
Yeah.
Zach, any other shout outs? Any other honorable mentions from you?
I just want to know what year we're doing next.
Oh, that's great. Randy talked about teasing them. You guys think about that, and I'm going to read back the lists for everyone. We're going to see how much Randy dominated here. No. Okay, so we'll start with Howard. Howard's truck was a Cherokee Chief. Howard's sports car was a 512 BB. Howard's daily driver, an Alfetta GT, the coupe. His family car, I'm bitter about this one, Lincoln Mark V, very good. And wild card, Fiat 131 Abarth Stradale. Very good list.
The
very
Stradale
solid.
is the peak. It's so
extremely good.
It's a better choice than a Stratos, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Stratos is cool, but man,
it's a deep pull.
131s, man.
Howard is the king of deep pulls.
Yep.
Okay. Randy, his truck, lot 121508. Land Cruiser FJ40 red.
Should have bought that truck.
Sports car, Lancia Stratos. Daily driver, this one rankles too. 930 Turbo Carrera, very well done. Family car, Mercedes 450 SEL 6.9 Euro specifically. And wild card, the cheater 1977 BMW M1 number 1, the first one, featured on BAT with a scoop on the front.
And also, I would say not a cheater answer. I'm just too dumb to have found that. And
he knew because he wrote. Did you write the post?
Good.
I may have written that one.
Okay.
2015. I was writing some posts, but we had other people writing them by that point, and some of the style of the writing. I try to go back and be like, did I write this one? It looks like a picture that I would have found. I was the eBay.
Seems like
searcher.
It's funny that you say that because I read some of the old stuff and I'm like, that's unmistakably Randy.
Some of them are unmistakable. This one is maybe unmistakable, so I'm not sure.
Somebody doing their best Randy impression. Okay, my list. For truck, I have F-250 crew cab. What did you say? What's the actual name of it? What's the crew cab called?
Well, if it's just an extended cab, you're talking about four doors.
I think it's called a crew cab. Yeah, okay. That's what I would like. Two-tone, preferably orange and white. For sports car, 308 GTB. For daily driver, a Volkswagen Scirocco. For family hauler, E12 535 speed. And for wild card, Cale Yarborough's Olds Cutlass NASCAR.
I'm going to search Cale Yarborough on the site. Like, how many times have we referenced him?
Zach's list. Oh, man, I think this is the winner. All right,
no, Randy's was strong.
This is really good, man.
131, 512 BB.
I mean, they're all good except for mine. Truck for Zach, Mazda rotary pickup. For sports car, a Lamborghini Periscopio Countach. For daily driver, an Aston V8. And is there a specific model of the V8 that you're looking for? Or
I just want a 5-speed.
Just a 5-speed. Okay. And are there Vantages that year or not? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Okay. Whatever. The blue one. We'll find the lot number.
Zach was prepared for follow-up questions on 77.
Yeah, sorry.
V8.
I'll stop asking questions. Family holiday.
Don't ask me anything about my current daily driver in real life.
Chevy G20 van. A specific lot number on that too, because yours had really cool windows on it. And then wild card, Pontiac Firebird Trans Am, Smokey,
which is the least wild card of that year.
I think we take them for granted for not being wild, but they are wild. They painted that big thing on the hood. I mean, it's a weird car to have become so popular. They're awesome.
Wild card, you get to pick whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
It can be a Camry. You can pick whatever you want. That's just like, can't make it happen on the other categories.
Have to have it. Actually, Zach and I, you can say we also had another wild card in mind that we came up with the same one.
Yeah, the 6-cylinder Benelli motorcycles of that era, predating the CBXs. I mean, what we both really want is just a CBX,
right,
which starts in 78. So.
But still a double overhead cam, 6-cylinder sideways with 6 individual headers coming off the front and a great noise.
Also worth splicing audio in.
As soon as I heard you playing that on your computer, I'm like, I'm worried that that's what he's going to pick. Anyway, great list, gentlemen. Any regrets? Or are we all happy? We'll see what the commenters think.
I'm waiting with bated breath for the next year.
Okay. I kind of want to go into the aughts is what I think we should do. That's our number one. Cars. We sell the most cars from the 2000s, right? That's number one. Zach and I,
year?
We were debating 09. What say the reasons for 09, which are interesting.
I'm going to have to think on this.
09's good because it's the economy imploding year.
Okay.
There's a lot of weird
so everybody was selling, sell.
Yeah.
Stuff was sitting on showroom floors.
You could pick a Saab for a wild card because that's probably the last time you're ever going to get one.
Less than 100% of the cars on the Porsche showroom were paint to sample like they are today.
Exactly.
So it was only
GT3 that year.
Totally.
So you can't pick that.
If we were going to do 50s, what year would you want to do? What comes to mind when it first hit?
Give me
57 is what comes to mind.
58, 54 is interesting because the American cars were still a little dumpy, but they started to get good, and Jags were ahead of their time. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of good
early
cars.
Beetles, really interesting
55,
stuff. What about you, 56. Howard? Do you have a strong opinion on where you'd like to go?
I know Beetles is not where I would land if we're talking 50s, but I agree. Any year, late 50s, I'd be happy with.
I meant like broad years. I mean, you and I were talking doing 30s or 20s even.
Yeah, 32 or 34 probably would be
very strong.
Fun to do.
Oh, really God. Fun. Whoever gets to go first and pick the 32 Ford.
Zach, are you going to be sick that day?
I think I can navigate my way through the 30s.
You could too.
Yeah, once we get into the teens, I may struggle a little there.
It gets hard.
Yep.
Duryea. I'm going to go ahead and pick you start picking weird Mercer, right?
Yeah, like or the rear wheels driven by a chain, or by
is it Bearcat 1911?
Totally. That's a good choice.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Choice.
Ben simplexes. We can.
We're really going to be faking it. We're really going to be faking it. Need to do some research for that.
There won't be 1,600 results on the site for some of those years.
Yeah, I think the older we go, I'll go more outside the site.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll dwell on that. And we'd also love to hear feedback from you guys about what years you would love to hear. Thanks so much for listening. As always, feedback is to podcast@bringatrailer.com, and we will catch you next time.